you read it?
Yes.
Thank you.
We acknowledge and pay respect to the past, present, and future traditional custodians and elders of this nation and the continuation of cultural, spiritual, and educational practices of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Lily. And thank you everyone for joining us today. This is wonderful. We have a good group here, and it's very exciting because we have quite a few students who are going to present today. That's fantastic. And most importantly, it's really good to see how you're connecting empathy with neuroscience topics. And the research you're doing and sharing is really impressive. So, but before we start today, that's what we decided to talk about a few topic that was mentioned in our last class. I would like to invite someone to read the agenda for us. Miss Mandi, would you like to invite someone to read the agenda, please?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
I will call Meena Majidi.
Hello to all of you. Thanks for giving me chance. Okay, agenda for today. Agenda, empathy and neuroscience topics. Insula, oxytocin, cortisol, empathy-rich environment, empathy stories, and award.
Thank you so much. We know the agenda, and what we are going to do, Miss Imandi has suggested a fantastic thing actually. Before we hand over to the students to do their presentation, what we are going to do, I'm going to say something about all four topics. Maybe not fourth one, maybe all first three topics. And I might be right or I might be incorrect. Okay? Whatever I say, it may be correct or incorrect. So if you think it is correct, then you're going to write in the chat, yes. If you think Miss Paramita is saying everything wrong, then you have to say no, no, no. Okay? So, for example, insula. If I say insula is a sap that we find in the heart of a human being. If it is correct, then write yes. If it is incorrect, write no. Okay? So we want to see what you think. It is found, insula is found in our heart. Is it correct? What's the response? Let's see. What are people saying? Insula, can't join the class. She's messaging on WhatsApp group. Suhaila, why can't she join? Now again, insula is found in the heart of our body. Is it correct or not? No, Nigarin has said no. Anyone else? Insula is found in our heart. Only one response, people. Someone said the answer already. Thank you, Nahid. It's in our brain. That's correct. Thank you very much. So it's not in our heart, but it's in our brain. Fantastic. Thank you, Nasima Kubra, Zarifa, Ilayaha. It's in our brain, Nahid. Thank you, Zakia. Thank you, Nuria. Thank you, Lina, Shukuriya, Mina. Great. Excellent response, Nahid Nigarin. Now, my second question is, Miss Imandi, are you trying to say something? Would you like to say something?
Yeah, I just want nothing to do with the topic, but I just wanted to inform once again to the students to write their full name because
Mm.
Nuria and one more, Sadaf, please write your full
Nuria, you
name.
know, Nuria's
And
full name is Shahab, probably.
no, no, I
Okay,
don't think
yes.
so. This is another Nuria.
Okay, thank you.
There are 2, 3 Nurias. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Mandi. Please follow the instruction and write your full name, please, because otherwise Ms. Imandi is keeping the attendance. It's going to be extremely difficult for us to keep the record because as you can see, there will be awards at the end of the class. So please, without wasting any time, write your full name. And if you can't, then let her know that you are here so that if you can't change your name, Miss Imandi can help you to rename. Okay, so the insula is actually, we also call it insular cortex. It's a small region of the brain. Okay, and it's stuck deep inside the laterus. It separates the frontal and temporal lobes of our brain. So soon someone is going to make a presentation about insula. I'm not going to spend any more time. I just wanted to give some introduction before we hand the microphone to the students. Okay, the next question. Next question is oxytocin. We talked about oxytocin a little bit in our last class. And so oxytocin, what is it? Can someone write in the chat, please, if you know what oxytocin is? Instead, giving you the answer, could you please write it down? What is oxytocin?
Ms. Paramita, do check your chat, please.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, Nigarin. Thank you, Rana. Thank you, Soraya. It's a hormone, yes. And also we call it neurotransmitter, often called the love hormone or the bonding hormone. We have lots of responses. Wonderful. Zakia also has written about neurotransmitter. This is something we are going to research on later. Okay, Ms. Imandi, I don't see any message from you though. Okay, I've got it. Yes. The final one, I'm not going to take any more time because I can see lots of people are here already. As Miss Imandi has said, please do not forget to write your surnames, okay? Okay, now let's go the final one that we are going to discuss a little bit, cortisol. When you practice empathy, what happens is your cortisol level is affected by your practice of empathy. Am I right or wrong? The cortisol level of your body, cortisol is the, as you all know, the stress hormone. What happens when you practice empathy? Then the cortisol level in your body goes up. It increases. And, the cortisol that is secreted by your adrenal glands and which sits above your kidneys, and it plays a vital role in the body's response to stress. So when you are empathetic to your family members or your friends or anyone around you, maybe your pet cat, when you're empathetic, it affects the cortisol, the secretion of cortisol in your body. Now, you think about it. The cortisol level goes up. Am I correct or no? When cortisol level gets higher, what happens? High cortisol levels usually creates more anxiety, more trouble sleeping, more high blood pressure. So when you're empathetic to others, so the cortisol level going up or down? I said it goes up. Who said that? Meena said, no, goes down when empathy, yes, when you're practicing empathy, the cortisol gets lower. Cortisol level goes lower. Thank you, Meena Majidi. It's just opposite to, yeah, thank you. So, Miss Imandi, without any further ado, let's get started. Would you like to invite our friends so that they can start? And I don't know if you will be able to, I'll stop sharing, or you will be able to share give me the PowerPoint to share. Miss Amandi, are you there? Thank you, Gulsum. Yes, it goes down.
I can share
Absolutely,
it.
Satya. Okay, then I'm just stopping to share. Cortisol gets higher, so it decreases the empathy. Well, Nigarin, we are saying that when you practice empathy, Miss Imandi, you start sharing. I have stopped sharing now. So you are right. When you practice empathy, what happens? The stress hormone goes down. So you feel more relaxed, more, you know, your immune system, actually, the research says even your immune system gets stronger when you are more empathetic to others. Now, I will stop talking. I'll hand over to Miss Amandi. She's going to invite.
I invite
Thank you.
I invite Ilaha Rezai Ashrafi. Hello. And Miss Paramita, I think we need to tell them also about the presentation.
Miss,
What do
can
they
you hear
think
me?
about it? And
Miss, I'm Ilaha Shafi.
Oh, sorry,
yeah,
Ilaha,
Ilaha,
just
we
one
can't.
second before we begin. People, those who are sitting down and watching and listening, please remember you have to give some feedback. We have special award for that, those who are more proactive in our chat. It's not just good or bad or very interesting, fascinating. You have to give reason why you think it's fascinating, why you think if the research is, the person has done the research well, if the person is speaking with confidence. You will see how Miss Lily is going to give feedback, Miss Imandi and I will give some feedback. So you have to put it in the chat so that your friends know how Ilaha's presentation went and how what you thought about this, and so that in future we will all try to improve this. Remember the 2 stars and 1 wish. 2 stars means what the presenter has done well, and 1 wish is where the area the presenter could improve further. Okay, thank you, Miss Amandi. I'm muting myself.
Yeah. And Nazifa, please write your full name. You can start, Ilaha.
Okay, Miss. My presentation today is about insula. And what is insula? The insula is a small region, the cerebral cortex located deep in with the lateral sulcus. It is sometimes called the island of fear, plays a role in emotion, perception, motor control, self-awareness, and more. A labeled diagram of the brain showing the insula inside the lateral sulcus. As you can see, there's a diagram and showing the insula inside the brain. And where is the insula located? The insula is hidden under the frontal and parietal and temporal lobes. It lies between the temporal lobe and frontal lobe, beneath the operculum. Main function of the insula: interception. First, interception, awareness of internal body state, for example, heartbeat and hunger. Second, emotion and empathy, understanding others' feeling. Third, pain perception, both physical and emotional pain. Fourth, taste and smell, process certain sensory inputs. Fifth, decision-making and addiction involve showing different function mapped onto the insula. Interior insula was posterior insula. Interior insula linked with complex emotion, empathy, and self-awareness. Posterior insula more involved in basic sensory processing like pain and temperature.
Sorry.
Missed the last one.
1 second. I'll start again. I had something wrong. Yeah. I think last is the conclusion.
Conclusion. Though hiding the insula is essential to how we feel, sense, and relate to others, and that was about the insula. I hope this presentation helped you understand more about insula. And this is the end of my presentation.
Miss Lily, would you like to
Oh.
say something? Give some feedback?
Yes, certainly. Well done. I think it was a pretty well prepared research and a good use of images to support your facts that you've gathered. Your pronunciation demonstrated some good practice of some really complex terms. Well done. I
Thank
thought
you.
some examples of the main function of insula demonstrated, as I said, some very good research. It might pay to keep listening to examples of how to pronounce words, because some of them are very complex, and that will improve the way your delivery and your presentation. But you showed a good understanding of the concept of what you were presenting, so that overrode the pronunciation. Yeah, it was fantastic. Well done. It's a very, very complicated subject, so well done. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome.
These are kind of.
Ms. Amandi, thank you, Miss Lily. Thank you so much for your detailed feedback for Ilaha. And I'm sure Ilaha appreciates, yes, as she said, very kind. Miss Imandi, would you like to say something? Because you're preparing.
Most of the points have been covered. Yeah, most of the points have been compared. Have been said by Miss Lily. I just would like to tell her she should be a little loud so that we can hear her clearly. Maybe she is not closer to the microphone, so she can come closer to the microphone and speak next time. And of course, a little focus on the pronunciation. So before you actually think of presenting, you have a practice what you're going to read. So just go over through the words so that you know what you're going to speak or what word you're going to pronounce. So then it will be a better practice and you will be able to say it much clearly. Other
That's
than
so
that,
well
it was,
said.
I think, yeah. Thank you. Thank you. I think it's always good that we need to read what we are going to present. Once we know what we are going to present, I think we are familiar with the words then. So it automatically, we go with the flow. and we know the pronunciation too.
Okay, Miss, I will keep in
And
mind.
also
Thank
her
you for it.
present, yeah, thank you. And also her presentation, I liked it so much because it is to the point, not too much of points cluttered. It's just apt written how much is required. Font is very clear. One can read what is written. The color background also is very clear so that it does not camouflage the uh, words or does not make it difficult to read. And the main function of the insula, this particular slide, I felt if you could, I like the image very much. So very clearly she has the cake and the drink and all that. So that image actually instead of the points, when you look at the image, you will be able to uh, uh, understand what actually it talks about the happiness and how it helps. But when you're writing the points, I think you need to have some number or a bullet over there to highlight those points. It's just one in a line. So to understand that they are points which you are talking about or is not very clear. It is more like a paragraph. I hope you understood what I'm trying to say, Miss Ilaha. Are you there, Ilaha Ashrafi?
I think she's
She's not there.
here. Ashrafi is here,
No,
but
she's
she's
there.
muted. She's
Uh,
muted. Anyway, thank you very much, Ilaha and Miss
much. Thank you.
Imandi.
And
Yes,
thank you, Miss.
thank you so much because it's very important to give them some clear feedback as so that next presentation will be even better. And girls, one
Yeah.
thing I just wanted to say that this is something was suggested by Miss Imandi in our last class, that when you're preparing a presentation, look, we are all volunteering here. Miss Lily, Miss Imandi, we are all spending our time. Everyone has lots of time. They are investing here. Now, one thing was suggested that was if you record your voice when you're presenting, just record your presentation and share it in our WhatsApp group. One of our teachers, I'm sure someone will find it and will give you some feedback. Sometimes we pronounce the words wrong, incorrectly, but that's okay. We all make mistakes. Through our mistakes, from our mistakes, we learn. Okay? And particularly when we are covering complex, as Miss Lily said, very complex terminologies, scientific terminology is not easy to pronounce. And honestly, if we have difficulties, even saying those words, one of your teachers, one of your friends, or one of your teachers can help you to pronounce it correctly. And the purpose of our WhatsApp group, purpose of our Zoom platform is to improve our, whatever we know, we want to get better at it. And thank you so much, Laha. That was brilliantly presented. You have so many positive feedback. I can see in the chat your research was really concise and well done and well prepared research, as Miss Lily has said. You have from Homaira. Has said that your presentation was absolutely beautiful, both in content and delivery. You spoke with such clarity. See, all these details. I cannot thank Homaira enough for writing the details. This is exactly what we would like to see. And you spoke with confidence, and that it made even a complex topic feel simple and engaging. Well done. Thank you. Every slide, every word, and every explanation felt thoughtful and purposeful. It was not only informative, but also inspiring. Good. Like a perfect blend of science and storytelling. Oh my goodness. This is so beautifully written. Well done. Okay, then Lena has written as well. Lena said, Ilaha, your presentation and research were amazing. Your research was perfect. Okay. So Maya has written something. Shukaira has written something. I'm not going through it all, but I would like you to read. And Miss Imandi, while I'm talking, if you can change to the next presenters
Yeah,
time,
I was
please.
just waiting
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I
Thank
was
you.
waiting for that.
Thank you. Thank you. Zarifa has written. This is, there is special award for it, for a good feedback, detailed feedback, because it's important that we reflect. It's not being critical. It's just to improve ourselves next time. It is, so,
Paramita,
yes, Miss Lily.
sorry to interrupt. I'll take 2 seconds of yours and Rajeshree's time. I think feedback is gold. Feedback is
Absolutely.
not criticism. You have to see feedback as a way to learn, and that's why the chat's so valuable. Thank you.
No, you are absolutely, Miss Lily, absolutely spot on, because this is when it is gold, absolutely. Because when we listen to others, we are thinking, what are the things we are going to do in the next time when it's our turn, my turn to present. Like Miss Amandi said at one point, I remember she said that not to clutter the slide with too much information. It is so important, even adults like us. I do it so often. I put too much information in one slide. And it is gold, as Miss Lily said, because then next time when I do things, I'll say, okay, I'm not going to rush. I will try to speak clearly with clarity, which rarely I do. Anyway, so thank you so much, Miss Lily, for your point. And please, this is a platform for all our teachers to take the microphone, and I will mute myself so that Miss Rajeshri can take over. Thank you, Miss Mandi.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. Next student is at the Nigarin Afghan. If you can, I think this is
Yes,
yours,
ma'am, I'm
right?
present. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good evening. Can I start, ma'am? I'm very much in
Yeah.
hurry.
Before that, no, don't worry. You are going to say it very well. Before you actually start, I would like
Yes.
everybody to listen to her presentation carefully and give your comments. And also you also, Nigarin, to understand what discussion was there before we started presenting when Miss Paramita had spoken about the neuroscience related to these words, cortisol and all other words. So relating to what she has said and what others are others are going to think about it or talk about it. So I want everybody to listen to her carefully. Thank you.
Bismillahir Rahman Rahim. By the permission of respected teachers, Ms. Amandi, Ms. Paramita Roy, and Ms. Lily, and dear classmates, my presentation is cortisol and its impact on empathy. And I'll start with the first slide, that is, what is a cortisol? Cortisol is a steroid hormone primarily known as the stress hormone produced by the adrenal glands, which is like triangular shaped glands located on the top of the both kidneys, as shown in the picture. And adrenal cortex is there, and adrenal medulla, which is the inner layer, and adrenal cortex is the outer layer of the adrenal glands. Both are responsible for producing the stress hormone. And stress or cortisol also has various other important functions in the body. And high or low cortisol both can be harmful for our health. And next slide is the key function of cortisol. Stress response, the key function, the major functions, that is, it responds to the stress, metabolism. It regulates the body, uses carbohydrate, fats, and protein for energy. And inflammation, cortisol also helps reduce inflammation throughout the body. Inflammation is the responsible for defense and repair of the body. You can call it a defense mechanism, while metabolism is the utilization of nutrients. It also increases the blood sugar levels, providing the body with the energy during the stressful times, and regulates the blood pressure, and it regulates the sleep wake cycle. Next is the stress response system. In a diagram or in a picture, how it is shown that when the brain receives a stress, or then it just okay, the hypothalamus, which is the inner part of the brain, it releases a hormone which is known as CRH, which signals the pituitary gland to release ACTH, which is known as adrenocorticotropic hormone, and which stimulates the adrenal glands to produce cortisol. And CRH is the corticotropin releasing hormone. So this way, if the in the negative feedback loop, when the cortisol level is in the blood rises, it signals the hypothalamus and pituitary glands to reduce the ACTH and CRH production, thus shutting down the stress responses. This is how a negative feedback loop helps regulate the cortisol level. And next is, in the diagram, we can see that symptoms of high and low cortisol levels, that it affects, like if we have high cortisol level, it affects high blood sugar, weight gain. This slide is weight gain and high blood pressure, high sugar level, and muscle weakens, or we can say upper arms and thighs, your muscle weakens. And symptoms of low cortisol level is like it is you are feeling fatigue, or you are having unintentional weight loss, loss of appetite, low blood sugar. So these all are the key roles of the cortisol levels now. We can see in the other diagram as well that it increases the blood sugar, high in memory and attention, increasing blood pressure, suppress the immune system, decrease serotonin, and decrease sensitivity to pain. So these all are the major roles of the cortisols. And next slide, ma'am. Now we come to what is, the interaction of empathy and cortisol. Empathy and cortisol are related, and their interaction can be complex and vary, depending on factors like individual differences in empathy, stress levels, and even gender. Like in female, we find more like empathy level is more than the male. That's why it is said in gender. And elevated cortisol, or a stress hormone, can reduce altruistic behaviors in individuals with a higher empathy levels, while in some cases stress-induced cortisol increases empathy, especially in women. Here's a look at how cortisol and empathy interact. We can come to the next slide. Like number one, that is stress and reduced empathy. Like I told you that it affects the altruism. Like it affects altruism means to understand someone else's state or situation. This suggests that when faced with stress, people are naturally empathetic and may become less inclined to prioritize others' needs. Means when you are in your own stress, you cannot feel others, you cannot be more empathetic to them. And this way, like example, I can give that there was a study found that participants who donated money for a charity after completing a stressful public speaking task, they just decreases the donations, which means that it does affect the altruism. And in the brain activity, research indicates that cortisol can alter brain activity in areas relating to social decision making, specifically dorsolateral prefrontal cortex in individuals with higher empathy. What does this dorsolateral prefrontal cortex is a key brain region crucial for executive functions, cognitive control, and emotional regulation. And this also suggests that stress might interfere with the brain's ability to process and respond to the emotion and needs of others. As we have the examples that if we have a stressful exams, so if our stress level rises, so of course it does affect the performance that we do in the exam. We might forget, or we may feel the like feelings of anxiety and fear, which can induce effects and can hinder our performance overall in the exam. This is the example of brain. And let's come to the cortisol and generosity. Cortisol and generosity, it is opposite, like stress-induced generosity in some cases, not all the cases, in some cases, stress-induced cortisol may actually lead to, next slide. Next slide, if you can. Yes, ma'am. I said that cortisol and generosity, it is having opposite, like here, the effect. Stress-induced generosity, in some cases, stress-induced cortisol may actually lead to increased generosity in individuals with high empathy. This might override their tendency to prioritize their own needs, leading them to be more generous in certain situations. Like if you are feeling stressful, so you can be more generous to the people in order to reduce your own stress. And individuals with a low empathy stress might actually lead to more selfish or less generous behavior. Means they might get even more selfish, and it may affect their generosity. We have this gender differences, stronger effects in females, as females are having the stronger effects. Some studies have shown that effects of stress-induced cortisol on empathy and generosity are more pronounced or are more noticeable in the women rather than in men. This could be due to the hormonal differences or variations in the way the brain processes social information between genders. And next, ma'am, I think this is the last, not the least summarized overview. The second last one, if you have. Next slide. Okay, this is the last. While cortisol can influence empathy, their relationship is not straightforward and can vary depending on individual differences, stress levels, and other factors like sex and testosterone levels. Means these all are the depending. It is not still very much like understandable, and it is complex interplay between cortisol, empathy, and social behavior. There should be more research, and it is more needed to understand them fully. And at the end, I just want to say that we can avoid the just a few words. I can say that if we want to like hinder, or if we want to regulate our cortisol levels, so we should have physical exercises. We should take care of our healthy diet. Like we should have healthy diet, and we should have our sleep hours, regular sleep hours, which is 7 to 9 hours. We can take meditations, mindfulness, and moderate our caffeine intake, and these all are the ways we can control it. Thank you very much, and thank you for the patience. And it is more than 3 minutes. And again, forgive me for your time. Thank you, ma'am.
Paramita.
Oh, I thought you were going to invite everyone. Would you like to say a few, points, like two stars and one wish, Miss Imandi? Would you like to give some feedback to Nagarin?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, her presentation is, of course, eye-catching, very well done. regarding and the font is very clear, big enough for everybody to read, very clear. She started with a deep research she has done, I should say. And she could work on little more on how cortisol could or correlate with empathy more. I
That
think
is
if
your
that could
wish.
have been done,
Yeah.
empathy, that is my wish.
Yeah, some
This
more.
would have been more, though she has related, but I felt a little more could have been better. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Amandi.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Would you like to give some feedback, Miss Lily? Thank you.
Yeah, I was busy typing away and pressed enter and bing, the feedback popped up, but I listen as I type, so that's how I give feedback. I thought the introduction was really good, how you use inclusive language. That's an absolute winner way to harness your audience, to get them to realize that you are connecting with them and you see them not as a something that you can't connect with. It's a hard thing. I think you did it really well. To clarify, you researched pronunciation quite well, and you had a lot of information and some good examples to back up that information. Yeah, I think it was a lot of information in the time frame. I don't know if you met the criteria of the time frame, but I liked how you related it to real life situations, and I think that made it authentic. Thank you. Well done.
Thank you very much, dear teachers.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Miss Lily. And I think Miss Imandi and Miss Lily covered all the points, and I really appreciate. And also, I can see so many of your peers, Nigaran, they're writing in the chat, which is amazing. And I'm so proud of each one of you. But I have something to say. We can all see that you have done very in-depth research. What I would suggest next time when you do a presentation, and it's for everyone though, every student, remember the last slide, keep it for your sources of information. Because particularly in science, whatever you say, you have to support it with your source of information. So what I suggest, even if it is from a website, like a neuroscience website or from any education website, please copy it and make sure you add it in your final slide, all your sources. So once someone looks at your presentation, will see how authentic or how reliable your sources are, and in that way we'll know that it is a genuine source, genuine information, because the student has visited many sites to authenticate her information. So I would like to see that in your final slide. But otherwise the presentation was very well done, very well researched, and you spoke with confidence. And because you have studied very well, you could speak with confidence. Well done, Nigaran. Shall we move on to the next person, please? Miss Amandi? Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm trying to put this down. It's not working. Yeah. The next student I would like to invite is Sultana. Am I right? Sultana Suraya Sultana, right? Are you there, Suraya? Suraya Sultana? She was there. No, I don't see her. She's not there. She's not there. Miss Paramita, I think we can take over because she's not there.
Okay, sure, sure. So do you,
Hello,
yes, I don't see, I see Sultana Atay.
Tamana Hashimi raised her hand.
Okay,
Tamana
let her speak. Yes, Tamana, over
No,
to you.
Sultana, not Ate, Sultana.
Tamana wants to say something. Yes, Tamana?
Hello, dear
Tamana has
teacher.
Hashimi. She was supposed to present.
Yes,
She was supposed to present.
yes, my topic was about empathy-rich environment, and I am ready to present.
Could you please
So
share?
do you have your presentation?
Yeah.
Yes, but I'm so sorry that I couldn't make slide for my presentation. Should I start?
Do you have
Okay,
your,
it's okay. That's okay. I think you
No.
can still read it out. Yeah, sure.
okay.
She
Yeah.
doesn't have a presentation. She could not make it, so she would
Yes.
like to read it out.
Fine.
Yeah, my topic was about
That's okay.
effects of
You can start.
yeah, my topic was about empathy-rich environment, and I want to talk about this, and I researched about this for two options. One of them is effects of an empathy-rich environment on the human brain and nervous system, and another is impact or effects of empathy-rich environment on children and society. At first, I want to talk about effects of empathy-rich environment on the human brain and nervous system. At the first, it reduces stress, lower cortisol levels. In an environment filled with empathy, respect, and mutual understanding, the pathways, the parasympathetic nervous system becomes more active. This system calms the body and leads to reduction in cortisol, the hormone responsible for stress. Another one is increased oxytocin, the trust and love hormone. When a person feels safe and support, the brain releases oxytocin. This hormone boosts trust, bonding, and emotional connection. Helps the brain become more relaxed, kind, and open to others. Another effect is activation of key brain areas related to emotion. Amygdala. In empathic environments, the amygdala, which process fear and threat, become less active, leading to a calmer state. Prefrontal cortex, the brain center of thinking and decision-making, work better when the person feels safe and not threatened. Another effect is stronger neural connections. Empathy-rich environment helps from the strengthening brain pathway related to empathy, emotional regulation, peaceful conflict resolution. The brain learns to become more understanding and emotionally intelligent. In summary, empathy-rich environment calms the brain, improve logical thinking, and created healthier human relationship. Pathway doesn't just feel good and actually change how the brain and nervous system function in a positive way. And another my presentation was is about the effect of empathy rich environment on children and society. I'm so sorry. What is empathy-rich environment? An empathy-rich environment is one where people understand and care about each other's feeling. There is no judgment, bullying, and disrespect. Support, kindness, and active listening are core values. Effects on children. What is effects of empathy-rich environment on children? At first, number one, positive brain development. An empathy-rich environment strengthens neural pathways in a child's social brain. It helps children develop emotional intelligence and better communication skills. Another effect is increased self-esteem and confidence. When children feel understood, they gain confidence and feel value. Another is reduce stress and anxiety. Empathy activities, and the parasympathetic nervous system, calming the body and reducing stress hormones like cortisol. Another effect is more positive behavior. Children raised with empathy are often kinder, more patient, and more cooperative, and they handle conflicts better. And effects of empathy-rich environment on society. At first, the effects of this more peaceful communicates. People who grow up with empathy are less violent and more cooperative as adults. Another one is greater culture and social understanding. Empathy encourage acceptance and respect for people from different backgrounds. And another one is healthier leadership. Future leaders raised in empathy-rich environment are more likely to be fair, equal, and emotionally intelligent. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Tamana. That was brilliant. I think I'll invite Miss Lily to give some feedback first, and then Miss Amandi, over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Paramita. Tamana, you really clearly identified the value of empathy-rich environments. It's no doubt a very productive and hopeful space when empathy is filled in those environments. And I think that you connected and showed a relationship with what you were researching. You weren't just producing words and images, you were actually relating to empathy and its value as a hopeful space. You show some really detailed research though of the impacts of an environment where empathy is rich and can generate an understanding and support. You spoke well, your pace was fantastic, and the impacts on a child were really something that would draw an audience's attention, and they were clearly communicated. Well done. You clearly related to the value of an empathetic, rich environment, and that's what made it real for your audience to listen to. Your points are very persuasive when you do that, when you relate to your connections, and the fact that you advocate the concept of empathy was very clear in your presentation. Well done. Thank you very much. I really enjoyed it, that presentation.
Welcome, my teacher.
You're welcome.
Miss Amandi, would you like to give some feedback to Tamana, please?
Yeah, I actually missed her presentation in between with my network being very slow, so I couldn't hear her clearly. But her examples were very good. She had given very apt examples, and her pronunciation was also very good. Communication and pronunciation was really good. So I think well done. And if you could share your presentation with us, it will be very good to our mail ID, news@virtualschoolaustralia.au. If you could share that. So we would, I think we can also share it with others in the group, or you can share it in the group, WhatsApp group.
Yes, Ms.
Thank you.
Namandi, on this, I would like to add to the students, like you're getting the feedback and you're going to work on it even more, because we are going to invite some of you to present at the Global Empathy Conference. Your short video, we are going to record, and between the sessions, we are going to share your thoughts and your research. I think that is going to be wonderful if we can do that. And particularly, Miss Tamana, what I really liked, you not only talked about empathy-rich environment. If we take the example of our platform here, where there is no judgment, like this is what you said, please don't draw on the screen. We don't appreciate, but we can find out who's doing it. So please take the eraser and erase, please. Thank you. So, but I also liked how you connected the topic with the neuroscience, like you talked about the effect, how oxytocin flows, what happens to the cortisol level. And that was fantastic. And as Miss Lily and Miss Amandi said, your examples were profound, and those examples really supported your presentation and research. Only thing what was missing was your PowerPoint, and I'm sure after this presentation, I encourage you to make a PowerPoint, please, so that we can, at the beginning of our conference, we can share your presentation, about empathy-rich environment. Thank you so much. Without any more wasting any more time, Miss Mandi, would you like? I think
Suraya Sultani is here.
Yes, please share her presentation, and we can listen to her before we. And you have Tamana, you have plenty feedback. Please go through them. Think about it. If I were you, I would copy and paste it in a document so that I can read again later on. And I'll do that after our class. Maybe I'll try to put the chat together. Yes, over to you, Miss Imandi. Sorry, I'll mute myself now.
I invite Suraya Sultani. Are you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hi, teacher, and hi, my all of classmates, and by permission, all of you. Today, I want to present about oxytocin. And the first, I say maybe it's have a little problem, but excuse me, yeah, if I make a mistake. Oxytocin. What is oxytocin? Oxytocin is a natural hormone, and also we can say love hormone that manages key aspect of the female and also male reproductive system. It's including labor and delivery, and also lactation, as well as aspects of human behavior. Your hypothalamus makes oxytocin, but your posterior pituitary gland stores and releases it into your bloodstream. You can change the slide. Yeah. Hormones are chemicals that coordinate different functions in your body by carrying message through your blood to your organs, muscles, and other tissues. These signals tell your body what do you do and when do you do it. Your hypothalamus is the part of your brain brain that controls functions like blood pressure, heart rate, body temperature, and digestion. Your pituitary gland is a small phased endocrine gland located at the base of your brain below your hypothalamus. Scientific forms of oxytocin. Healthcare providers use scientific forms of oxytocin like cytosinin and pitocin. It induces labor in childbirth if it hasn't started naturally, or the stringent contractions. The healthcare providers also use synthetic oxytocin to speed up delivery of the placenta, like at the third stage of labor, and reduce the risk of heavy bleeding, like postpartum hemorrhage. It's postpartum hemorrhage is bleeding after the baby born. It's when the mother is have a bleeding. It's say postpartum hemorrhage. Yeah. What is the function of oxytocin? Is also repeated. The two main physical functions of a uterine. And teacher, I can say very clearly this, like.
Uterine contractions in labor and childbirth. Yeah.
Yeah.
And to stimulate
Contraction
contractions
in
of
labor and in childbirth, both and breast tissue and in what's the lactation, and or after childbirth. Yeah, after childbirth, it's a very weak picture. Oxytocin is also acts as a chemical messenger in your brain and has an important role in many human behavior and social interactions. Yeah, I can see, like sexual or arousal, and
arousal.
Recognition. Yeah, romantic attachment and parent bond and teacher, I cannot see clearly this slide. Excuse me.
Ms. Amandi, can you please move to, yeah.
That's the end.
Okay. Would you like to respond to this presentation, Ms. Amandi? Thank you.
She has made it good, but I felt that she could improve on the presentation, the color coordination. The font size could have been a little bigger. Her positive is she tried reading it, but a little more practice could have made her.
Can you please take it to the first slide, Ms. Rajeshri? Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so I think you start it off and here the size is bigger because I had made it bigger, the font size, if you see others. So others with the space and all that. And what is oxytocin? Actually, oxytocin is a happy hormone. Am I right? I think you have to start
love
off with
hormone, teacher. Yeah, love.
Yeah, love hormone. So I think you could have started off with that rather moving into all these points, but you still have done a good job. I don't want to say that you have not tried, you tried it. But when we talk about empathy, we are relating this neuroscience to it. So how neuroscience helps in growing our empathetic nature. So that is what we are looking into. So I think you need to, if you can, if it is possible, if you can present it once again, I'll be very happy. I'm happy even now that you have done your hard work, but the relation, I don't want to give a negative feedback, but what I'm trying to say is the relation between empathy has not been actually been very clear. Oxytocin, how it helps, what is the benefit in empathetic nature. Am I right, Miss Lily? She's there?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, she's there.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Rajeshri. I think, yes, I think if the task is set with the criteria that you have to relate it back to the concept of empathy, all the content that Soraya has presented is there, but that has to then, exactly right, Rajeshri, it has to go back to all
Yeah.
of these facts. How do they
What's
influence empathy?
more a
And I think
biological science?
yes, yeah. It was fantastic. I agree with you, Rajeshri. Can I say some points now? That are you
Yeah, sure,
finished?
sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. So yeah, I think you prepared some like really detailed research, and as we've just said, you need to draw it back into what the task set, and that was to see how those hormones influence the levels of empathy. The PowerPoint was really detailed. Well done. The use of dot points or bullets, as you can call them, demonstrated that you prepared quite some detailed information and you presented it in like a step-by-step delivery. That was very well done. Try to, if you can, put some images to present into a PowerPoint as well. That always makes your audience interested and engaged. Those images really can make or break sometimes the success of a presentation. I think your pace was fantastic and your translation of the information is important. So every slide, you've got all the information. If you make a small summary at the end of each slide, it will show that you are relating back to what the topic is about. That's just a really important point that most presentations this evening can actually take on, is that you make your own small summary of all the facts of each slide and how they relate to the task that you've been set. That's making sure that you are attending to the criteria of a task. So a summary at the end of each slide, not just the end of the PowerPoint. I think the end of each slide shows your understanding. And if it's put in your words or your experiences, it's very powerful. It's a very powerful way to communicate. But Soraya, you made a fantastic effort to pronounce some really difficult concepts and terms. Well done. I commend you. Thank you very much.
Paramita, if you have anything to say, I think we've
I
become
agree
more.
with both of
Thank you.
you. Yeah, I agree with both of you, Miss Amandi, Miss Lily, because exactly what you said. She's done brilliant, very in-depth research. We can see that. There is no question about it, Suraya. You have worked hard on this project, on this presentation. And as Miss Lily said, we commend you on this because you have worked extremely extremely hard to collect all the information and to present it in the class. It needs a lot of courage, and you have done that. I mean, well done. But you know what? As we talked about, the previous presentation was all about empathy-rich environment. The platform here is to practice and get better at it. And as Miss Lily said, that some visuals, some images will make your presentation even better. Like you, on this slide, you have talked about pituitary gland, where, where this hormone secretes. And if you had a little image of the, the pea-size endocrine gland located at the base of your brain, below your hypothalamus, if you just gave us a tiny image of that, that would have been even better, Soraya. And I think this was brilliant. Miss Simandi has encouraged you to do another presentation. And remember, on each slide, less is more. Just give one concept on each slide with some images that will make it even, for clarity's sake, just give less information. Whatever information you put some images with it, and that will be brilliant. Thank you so much. We have to end our class very soon because it is 7:20 here in Adelaide already, but we have something very special coming up. And I know many of you have to leave now. Miss Amandi, over to you. If you stop sharing, I can open the presentation. Yes, and then we have to skip lots of things because we have some surprises for some of you girls. And we are moving to that slide. Miss Amandi Miss Amandi has nominated some of the students, and she will be presenting some of the awards today. Farzana, is there anything you want to say? Share something, Farzana? Over to you before we move on to the next thing.
Yes, I want to say something. First off, so sorry for being late. Our internet was not working, and so I was late. And I was asked if I can present my presentation on empathy or not now. Can I present my presentation on empathy?
Miss Paramita?
Miss Amandi, we are really running late today, and you will do it, Fazana, in our next class, okay? Because we had several presentation today, this evening. So, Fazana, next class, please come early and try to be the first person to present. Please, okay?
Okay, I already sent you the PDF on email, and I'm already prepared for the presentation.
What was the topic? Was it a story?
No, it was about empathy.
Yeah, it must be empathy story because
empathy and neuroscience. Was it about empathy and neuroscience?
It was all about empathy, understanding about empathy, and why is it so critical, and like all about empathy.
Excellent, Farzana. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Miss Amandi, can we move on, please?
Yeah, please. Let's start.
Would you like to say something, how you decided?
Yeah, I would like to talk about it, that we are giving we have actually given the award for the attendance till now. And this is based on how you have given your time being present and engaging yourself to attend in this classes. Also, I have looked into the details of how long you were there, whether you were there for the full class or you left in between. Maybe you had internet issue, maybe you were not able to attend because you had to go, but information is very important. I feel that you need to inform us. If you're not able to attend or if you have some problems, some of them have mentioned today that they have to go early. So I feel, when you inform, we know exactly what is happening and what is the problem with you. So if you don't inform, anybody will feel, oh, that person could not come, and we imagine something. So information is very, very important. Second point, some of them I have requested a number of times to write full name during the class session. Even today, Rosie